I'm very grateful to President Trump for what he's done. Thank you, especially to the U.S. soldiers, to the servicemen and women who have given their lives.
The war in Iran has the world divided, some protesting, others celebrating. In this episode, an Iranian-American woman explains why this moment for many Iranians feels like justice. This is a moment that's going to go down in history. When you first heard of the regime falling, did you cry, did you worry, or did you celebrate?
Oh, I did. So many emotions went through my head, but it was excitement. It was frightened a little bit, of course, because of family members that we have back home, and them getting caught up in the crossfires. But overall, it was the first time that I think I felt excitement like that, and hopeful for the people of Iran, for myself, for my family. This is one of those moments where we are always going to remember where we were at that exact moment when we heard the news.
Did you ever think you would see this happen in your lifetime?
No, never. It's been 47 years. I was born in 1978, so I'm a child of the revolution. And every year we say next year, and I think we had somewhat lost hope, even if we didn't want to admit it.
So you were born in Iran?
I was born in Iran.
And how did you end up in the United States?
My dad was one of the private bodyguards for the late Shah of Iran, the last king. He fled before we did. We didn't see him for about 4 years. We were eventually able to leave with my mom and my siblings, and we met up with him in Istanbul, Turkey, in 1984. And from there, we made our way to the United States. We were immigrants, political asylum. We landed in Alexandria, Washington, D.C. first. By the time we made it to San Antonio, I was 6 years old.
And what was it like when you finally went back for the first time? Was it the Iran you remembered?
No, it wasn't. The Iran that I had always known and still to this day know in many ways is the Iran that was in many ways the golden era. The Iran that my older siblings grew in, the Iran that my dad and my family were so prosperous in and living such a beautiful life.
Can you describe what that oppression looks like within Iran?
So obviously I haven't been there in 32 years. I hear secondhand from my family, from my relatives, but we can, just take the past 3 months as an example. Significant inflation. Limited electricity, limited access to internet, a lot of people living in poverty, the freedoms that we take for granted here, right? The basic human rights, live freely, to dress freely, to talk freely. And in January, the government slaughtered people who simply went out to protest the regime. I mean, how evil can a regime be, can an individual be to cause celebration when they die? And that alone should make you think. If you have no idea, if you know nothing about Iran, just take this one instance, and that alone will tell you what the past 47 years has looked like.
Do you still have family there? A lot of family right now?
Dozens, yeah. Aunts, uncles, cousins.
Have you been able to talk to them since the war began?
I haven't directly. My parents, some of my cousins that are here have been able to make some very short connections, 30-second phone calls, 1-minute phone calls. A lot of them are frightened because, of course, the bombings that are taking place, it's a war zone right now.
They're in Tehran.
They're in Tehran.
So they're right in the heart of everything.
The ones that have been able to make contact, they tell us they're okay, but they have made it very known that the bombings are significant and they're scared for their lives.
Now, President Trump said that the brunt of the attacks have yet to come.
Yeah, that's scary.
Does that scare you?
Absolutely, it's scary. I hope that they're very targeted attacks, whatever they are. I'm against war. I think war is always the last true option that you have. And in this case, with the Islamic regime, I don't know any other way that we could have ousted them.
There's been a lot of civilian loss already, including a school of girls.
Right.
Is war worth the price?
That's such a hard question to answer, right? Because it's twofold. You don't want civilian lives lost. You don't want casualties. You don't want the innocent to be killed and slaughtered. But the fact is that the Islamic regime of Iran has been doing that for 47 years in their own country, to their own people, to the people around the world, in the region, by supporting terrorist organizations. So it's awful to say, you know, do we let them continue to do it, or do we, you know, does the U.S. go in and do it there for a short time period to be able to eliminate them? What's happening in Iran right now is giving 8 to 10 million people in the diaspora, Iranians, and the 92 million people that live in the country, a sense of hope for better days to come. History has shown us that freedom does not come freely.
Is this sort of a hopeful sign that you might go back to Iran if things change? Is that why there's so much joy? Or is this to you finally justice after decades of what you felt was injustice done to the people?
For me personally, it's the justice. Aside from the justice, I want my dad to be able to go back home. He's 88 years old. It's an emotional time. I want him and people like him to be able to go back. And I guarantee you that in every family in the diaspora, there's someone like my dad. My dad served his country. He served for a king. And he gave up everything. The Iranian Islamic regime confiscated his land, his home, everything he had. My mom, you know, she gets sad and she says, she's like, I don't have a home to go back to. But just to think that he will be able to, at this age, step foot back on his homeland again is worth the world.
He hadn't gone back since?
No, he can't. Mm-mm.
He wasn't allowed to.
It's not so much that he wasn't allowed to, it was more that we knew that if he went back, he would be imprisoned.
His life would be threatened.
His life would be in danger, absolutely.
There were all sorts of things being said about this war and why the U.S. went to war with Iran.
Yeah.
Do you think it's really about the people?
I'm very grateful to President Trump for what he's done. I didn't vote for him, you know, and my friends know that, but I'm very grateful for him for doing what he did and giving the Iranian people this moment of happiness. But do I think there's an underlying condition? Absolutely. Absolutely. Iran has been the center of invasions and war for decades, centuries.
Does the unknown underlying condition worry you in any way?
Yeah. Because we don't know what the rebuilding is going to look like. We don't know what the aftermath is going to be. We can only hope for the best. We can only hope that Iran is not going to be picked into pieces. We can only hope that Iran is not going to look like Iraq or Afghanistan. We can only hope that Iran will be rebuilt quickly and that freedom will prevail. But the unknowns are reality, and you have to think about them. If you don't think about the unknowns and the underlying conditions, you're setting up yourself for failure, in a sense. So no, it's not just about the people and the freedom. There's a lot more at play.
The people just happen to get what they want in the process.
Yeah. After 47 years, I said it to someone else. I said, we've had, in these 47 years, how many presidents have we had from both sides of the aisle?
So in your eyes, it's whatever it takes.
At this point, it sounds ruthless, but we're happy that the supreme leader is gone and that all the heads of state are being eliminated.
What was the first thing your 88-year-old father told you when you heard about the Khomeini's death?
My father was surprisingly very quiet. Of course, I called him, I congratulated him. A lot of it has to do with the fact that he was probably in shock. He probably didn't think he would witness that day. I think he was taking it all in. But he's beyond himself. He's happy. Justice is finally being served, and the Iranian people deserve to be happy. They deserve to be celebrated. We are, as you see, an emotional roller coaster right now.
Now, this war has really divided Iranians living overseas around the world. When the announcement of Khomeini's death came, you had thousands of Iranians all over celebrating. It erupted with celebration. And then you had others who were grieving and against this war. You were happy about the news. Have you spoken to others that you know who were not?
I will tell you that my entire family, we're significant in number here. We pretty much midday, we dropped everything we were doing and we all gathered together and we started celebrating. From teenagers to my parents who are in their 70s and 80s, we were celebrating. Is that all of us? No. I mean, we don't all agree. I'm not going to downplay the fact that there are people who support the regime. Are they all Iranian? No. Did I have a few friends that were not celebrating? Yeah, I had a couple. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact that they're afraid of what war does. And they're afraid of the bombings and the killings, right?
What do you think was the worst thing that that regime has done to people in those 47 years?
They've been silenced.
Stripping away their voice.
Yeah, stripping away their voice. Thank goodness for technology, right? Social media, we're able to express ourselves a lot more freely in a lot more ways than before technology. But even during the Women Life Freedom Movement, all of the individuals who were voicing their opinions via social media, Instagram, TikTok, they were arrested, they were killed. I think one of the worst things outside of the slaughtering is that so many of the intellects, the educated, the great minds of Iran have been silenced. They've been put in jail. Right now we're afraid for the lives of the political prisoners that are inside of Iran right now. And so many of those people have left the country and have settled elsewhere in the diaspora when they should have felt comfortable enough staying in their own country.
In the 1970s, the people of Iran wanted the Shah out. He was overthrown.
Yeah.
But then we ended up with the Islamic regime that came in, Ayatollah Khomeini. Do you have fears about what could happen now?
Absolutely. Yeah. The unknown is always fearful. But I think after 47 years, we can be very hopeful for significant change. And we hope that that significant change comes in the form of a free and democratic Iran and not another theocracy. Who needs a supreme leader? What does the supreme leader even mean? Where is the separation of religion and state? There's 92, 95 million people living there that deserve to be happy.
Who would you like to see rule the country right now?
There's been one individual that's been campaigning,
The Shah's son.
presenting himself as a leader, Prince Reza Pahlavi, the Shah's son. He was heir to the throne, right? He's not claiming himself a monarch. He's not claiming himself to be king or president or the end-all be-all. He's presented himself as the leader of the opposition.
But if they were overthrown once because people were not happy, what guarantee is it that things have changed and that he is the answer to the future?
There's no guarantee. There's absolutely no guarantee to anything right now.
So is it because you don't see any other choices right now you're supporting him?
No, I think that he has been very straightforward in presenting himself as a leader of the transition. Are there people in Iran that are probably capable? Absolutely. Absolutely. But I guarantee you, many of them are in prison cells because they've been silenced. And many of them are afraid. They haven't been given the chance to present themselves. So if Reza Pahlavi is chosen and with the help of the US is placed as a transitional leader, I think that we will, as Iranians, get that free and democratic election that we have longed for 5 decades. He's 65 years old, 66 years old.
So you still want to see an election?
Absolutely.
He's just a transitional.
Absolutely, yeah. I come from a family of pro-Pahlavi family. So, you know, some people might think I might be biased because of my dad's history and because of my family's history. But I think in today's world, you have to be very realistic, which Reza Pahlavi is being very realistic. No one wants a king. No one wants a supreme leader. No one wants a theocracy.
So if you were to close your eyes right now and envision a perfect Iran you want to go back to, what would it look like?
I think in Iran that in many ways looks like a free and democratic United States, right? As far as being able to vote, being able to have these freedoms of coming in and sitting with you on TV and saying whatever I want to say. But I want an Iran where it is ruled and controlled by the Iranians.
Do you see yourself going back and living in Iran one day?
Probably not. Not anytime soon. Maybe as I get older. You know, we joked about with the family of what everyone's going to do if they go back and who's going to start what kind of business and who's going to do what. But you need to let the country take shape. You need to let it form itself.
What is it like being an Iranian-American here in the United States right now?
Right now in this moment, conflicting, you know, you love both countries, you love both cultures, you love both countries. One is annihilating the other one, right? So it can be conflicting, but in reality, I've gotten the best of both worlds. I've been able to bring over my ancient culture and heritage and customs and ways of life and combine it with a modern way of life that I've been blessed to have in the United States. So it can be conflicting, but at the end of the day, I tell my mom always, I remind her, I'm like, be thankful that you brought us when you did.
Do you have a message for the American people?
Thank you. Thank you, especially to the U.S. soldiers, to the servicemen and women who have given their lives. We're grateful for opening the doors and allowing us to come here. And for giving us a chance. That's really all everyone wants, right? You want a chance to live. You want a chance to be happy. And the U.S. did that for us. We came here without anything. I mean, literally started from zero. I didn't know English. None of my relatives, family members, we knew nothing. And we started from zero here. So I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. And keeping the military servicemen and women in my thoughts and prayers as they're doing what they're doing right now, all to give Iranian people freedom.